All right, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to set up this camera that I bought 2 months ago. I've had it for a while now, the DJI Osmo Action 4. I've had a bunch of accessories and the camera itself sitting here for ages and I just haven't set it up. I've been doing this weekly artist way check-in over the last 12 weeks on the channel, and I kind of wanted to get that wrapped up before I started doing vlogs and more sort of traditional videos like I've been known to doing in the past. And when I started making videos, I was purely focused on just getting cool gear. 4K was kind of a new thing at the time, and I remember buying a Lumix G7, and Sarah and I, my partner, went on a cruise, and I just wanted to kind of capture different parts of the cruise and just learn how to edit and color grade and things like that. And ever since then, I've kind of always enjoyed learning about new tech and buying new tech. Not that I can afford much of it, but when I can, I like to indulge a little bit. For a while, I was just making videos because the gear allowed me to make cool videos, but I wasn't really learning how to be myself on camera, how to do storytelling, and it was more about the production quality as opposed to the message in the video. Fast forward a few years, I bought a drone, made a few drone videos. Fast forward a bit further, I upgraded from the Lumix G7 to a Sony A6400, which I used for a podcast for a little bit. And then I sold that off and then bought a Sony ZV-E10, which I recently sold that to buy this camera that I'm now using and I've used for probably the last 3 months now, which is the Osmo Pocket 3 by DJI. And I'm really enjoying using it, but it is quite fragile in a lot of ways. It's got a gimbal head, so it can break quite easily. It's not very durable. And kind of the trend that I've been seeing is people that I enjoy watching are kind of trying to have a more frictionless way of creating. And for me, I know I get caught in procrastination and perfectionism, and I like having high quality stuff and really cool edits and visuals and things. But I think in the past that's limited me quite a lot in terms of just getting shit recorded, getting videos out. So I'm kind of on this new bandwagon now where I'd rather just simplify everything and just learn how to be more comfortable on camera, essentially. And so, yeah, I thought it'd be better off for me and the way I like to do things going forward to kind of just strip things down to the essentials and get rid of the big cameras and everything. Because when I've tried making vlogs in the past, having a like Sony camera on a tripod and ND filters and all these things, it just creates this extra layer of friction and a barrier to entry almost in terms of just getting a video recorded. You have to set the whole thing up, you lug it around. It's just, for me, it was too much gear. I sold it all a couple of months ago. I think I've got footage I can perhaps overlay as B-roll. Yeah, essentially I sold it all and just wanted to downgrade in a sense to just something simpler that I can carry around. I can knock things about, not worry too much about the fragility of the actual tech and the product, because I just want to make more videos. I want to get better at speaking. I want to just get better and more productive and consistent with the videos I make. I've been on and off YouTube so much in the last 3 or 4 years. I'll do 3 months of weekly videos and then I'll stop for 9 months, come back with a new plan and new gear, and try and reinvent myself all the time. But I don't necessarily regret having those breaks all the time, but I feel like if I had just a simpler method of production, a simpler way of doing things, then maybe I would have just had more fun doing it. So that's kind of the mentality I'm at now. So that's a huge waffle about why I bought these 2 cameras and why I'm doing this video today. So yeah, just a bit of context about where I've been and the videos I used to make and the kind of mentality I have towards content creation and video creation now and then going into the future. And that's not to say I won't buy better cameras in the future and things like that, but I feel like in this day and age where I'm at, all the things that I'm doing in life, I just want to have things simplified. I want to be able to just press a button and go if I want to on a whim. And that's what's really cool about the Osmo Pocket 3 is you just flip this screen 90 degrees and it's on immediately. You can get good quality microphones that are instantly connected. And that's a huge bonus or a huge benefit as well that I've found, and I think you will have if you're looking at a similar setup with the DJI system. With the previous Sony system I had, you have to plug all the microphones in. It was just always a bit of a pain. But with the Pocket 3 and the Action 4, you can buy the DJI mics themselves. They usually come in bundles if you pay a bit more for, I think I got the Pocket 3 in a creator combo. Yeah, the mics just sync up immediately and it's just a really seamless recording setup. So yeah, I'm gonna open up this Action 4, super long-winded introduction. Yeah, this is primarily gonna be for like vlogging, carrying around, putting in the car, throwing it in a bag and things like that. Whereas the Pocket 3 is more of a replacement of the Sony cameras in a sense, because it's got a gimbal head. Yeah, it's kind of just like a camera on a tripod almost. So that's what I'm going to use it for, more talking headshots and framing things up and B-roll and things. Whereas this one is more for just run and gun type of stuff. So I'm gonna get this knife and I'm gonna rip all this stuff open and essentially just talk through why I bought this camera, which I mean, I've already explained that. But I'll talk about the accessories that I bought. There is a newer model, the Action 5, and there's probably gonna be an Action 6 coming out, I imagine, end of this year or next year. I got this one for less than $300, and the accessories are probably another 100 or so. Yeah, it was just a really cheap way of getting something more portable. I haven't really played with the Pocket 3 too much, so if it doesn't focus, I apologize. It's all kind of new to me, all these smaller cameras. I've had a few GoPros in the past. I wasn't the biggest fan of them, but from everything that I've seen, the DJI stuff, the image quality looks better, and just the connectivity of the microphones was the main selling point to me. This is the accessory box, paperwork, USB cable, with a thumb screw. And what I really hated about the GoPro in particular is these things. I hate the Action camera thumb screws. They annoy the crap out of me. They're just ugly. I understand the practicality element, but there's just something that grinds my gears about them, to be honest. USB-C cable, and this is the frame. This is the first time I've done like an unboxing of any sort, so if you're looking for like a review or something, you're probably in the wrong place. I'm not really too sure what the best way is to showcase this, but this is what came in the box. Little cage for it. I did buy a cage. I'm not sure what the difference is. We'll figure it out. If I don't use the other one, I can always sell it on eBay. There's just some clamps. Got a battery here, which will obviously help power said camera. They have their own kind of patented little clip things. Yeah, it's a magnet. So it has like two little notches in the bottom, which goes straight on. Or does it? No, I was doing it backwards. It's officially the goofiest unboxing video ever. Let me throw the battery in, so the battery compartment's on the side. Now I didn't get the combo pack for the Action 4. I'm just gonna see how long one battery lasts me. I was gonna get the Action 5, but apparently there's not that much of a difference to warrant the extra $100 or $200. So I'm just gonna rock the Action 4 for a while and probably just keep it as a backup camera, and then if I'm enjoying the ecosystem and how it all works, then I'll upgrade to an Action 6 or whatever the successor is when it comes out. So that's the camera. Now there is this cage that came with, by the looks of it, the main bonus, obviously a protective cage, but it has the same magnetized clamp bit on the side, which is cool. However, I bought this one from Small Rig, which is designed to do the same thing. So I'm not sure if I actually need this or not. This one is plastic, and I've seen this featured in a bunch of other YouTubers' kind of breakdowns and setups. Pretty sure it's metal, so if it's metal, obviously I'm gonna rock that one instead, just because it's gonna be way more durable. And I've just destroyed the box, so there's probably no hope of me returning this anyway. So this is the Small Rig cage for DJI Osmo Action cam. Night and day difference. That's so sturdy, rock solid. So I'll give you a little preview of that. Really high quality, actually. So let me slot this guy in. And again, these are little magnetized things. The whole reason for buying the cage was because you can do it on the bottom and on the side. So you can obviously do landscape and portrait and flip between the two super easily. So let me figure out how to open this guy, all right. She's in there nice and sturdily. All right, I'm loving how protected that is. What is next? So this is the clip that came with the camera, and I've showed it 18 times already, forgive me. And I bought these two, which are essentially the same thing, but by Small Rig. So hopefully they're of a similar material type to the actual cage I just got. These are called the support adapter for DJI Osmo Actions. And the reason I bought two was because I want to have a permanent setup in the car on the dash. So if I'm just in the car, I can just grab the camera and just mount it up real quick. All I need is the camera. I can have one of these magnetized adapters ready to go, and yeah, just not have to worry about suction cups and all that sort of stuff each time. I can just jump in the car and press record and go. That's the whole plan. Yeah, these are tiny, but it is the same quality metal as the cage. So it has the same little magnetized clippy bits, and there's like a quick release as well. There's little buttons on the side. I'm pretty impressed with the small rig stuff so far. It's magnetized on, little releases on there. And then again, if I want to do it on the side, it's actually really strong. I can do it that way too. So hence why I wanted to have two of them. One of them can be mounted onto like a little selfie stick permanently, and the other one will be mounted on the suction cup for the dash. The prices, I can't remember. Like I said, I bought all this stuff like 2 months ago, so I'm not sure of the pricing. Most of the accessories for the DJI stuff, both for the Action 4 cam and for the Pocket 3, usually $20 or $30 Australian for like all the little ND filters and adapters and things. So it's quite a cheap setup for the type of quality you can get and the versatility it can provide. On the bottom of the actual adapter, you have a 1/4 inch thread in the middle, and then you also have the snap out, what do you call them? Just like legs for the thumb screws to go in. My goal is to not have to use any of these thread things ever. That's my entire goal. All I really wanted to do is just have it on a selfie stick all the time. And this selfie stick is by PGY Tech. It's called the Cap Lock Action Camera Extension Pole Tripod with like a phone combo. This is probably the most expensive thing other than the camera. And there's so many different tripods you can buy for these sort of things. I didn't want to try 3 or 4 of them and then have to return them all. So after a bit of research, this seemed like the best one for my use case. So we'll rip it open, and I'm just gonna obviously get rid of all the paperwork and QR codes that I don't need. And I'll just give you my immediate first impression of the selfie stick. Not the strongest, definitely quite plasticky. It feels strong and sturdy though. It's a good length for my hand. My entire hand covers the entire grip part, which is good. It's not too far below or too high above. These extend out, so you can have a tripod, obviously. I feel like that's probably the length. Each notch is about 10 centimeters. That's probably what, 50 centimeters or so, which is a nice distance, probably further in length than I would need because I've got quite long arms. And yeah, that looks like it's gone all the way up as far as possible. And I suppose like stability test is another important thing. So, I mean, for the weight of this, the camera itself is quite light, but with the cage, it's probably doubled the weight, I would say. And if that was outside with this on top, I wouldn't be worried necessarily because it's an action cam. It's got obviously a metal cage. It's gonna be quite durable, and it might get a few scuffs on the metal, but it's not gonna withstand a bunch of wind or anything. So it is what it is. It's a tripod. It's not gonna be super, super rock solid. Slides down quite nicely. So on the top here, you have a ball head, obviously the wheel on the side to tighten it. And one of the reasons why I bought this one was because it has a cold shoe mount on the side here. So if I want to put like one of these little cube LED lights, or the microphones that I have, the DJI mics, will probably slide into there as well. Not super, super impressed with the tripod, but it's hard to say if it's great or if it's just good because I don't have 5 other ones to compare it to. I've never really had a selfie stick before. I've always had just traditional tripods, like proper ones for the Sony camera I used to have. So I'm not really gonna give it a review or a rating in any sense because it wouldn't be fair because I got no comparison. On the top, we have actual plate part where the plates go onto. This one here is, I'm not sure if it's their like patented thing or not. Basically, it's got the screw thread on the bottom there. So that my idea is that plate can just sit on there permanently. It clips in. On the back, there's a little lock mechanism. So obviously the camera or whatever's attached to that plate and thread won't come off. My intention is to have the small rig adapter just permanently on here. This is just ready to go all the time around the house or out and about. The camera itself can clip in, magnetized, and we're good to go. And then if we want to extend, we can extend, and then obviously we can loosen that and tilt it backwards so it's got a glamorous shot up my nose. Might have to trim the nose hairs. And then obviously a quick release is what I really wanted. And then I can mount it sideways if I want to do like a TikTok or something, which I've rarely done. So that is the portable version around the house. A couple of more things to show you. So the other thing that I bought was the Small Rig Magic Arm Magnetic Suction Cup Mounting Support Kit for action cameras. And this is just designed to be a permanent setup in the car, probably in front of the passenger seat. So I can just literally walk around with this, snap it off, snap it into the car. That's the entire premise or purpose. So obviously suction cup, they're pretty self-explanatory. And then there's kind of this swivel arm system, essentially like two ball heads. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer, but I think it will do the job. So let me get this second adapter, which is just going to screw onto the bottom. And then yeah, obviously it'll be upside down. And that's most of the setup. I haven't set up the camera yet. And the final thing that I bought, and I'll probably buy other things as well, is this K&F Concept filter. It's called a black diffusion quarter filter. So it's designed to make, how would I describe this? Like making lights more sort of bloomy and not as sharp. So I'm not sure if, I can probably give you an example because this Osmo Pocket 3 has one on there. So I have this light in the background, and just so you guys get a bit of an understanding of what it's for and what it looks like. So right now, the filter's on there, as I said, it's the same one as the one I just showed you, just obviously it's smaller because it's got a different lens between the two cameras. But with this blue light, you might be able to see kind of like a blurring. The light is not as sharp, and yeah, sharp's probably the best word. And I'll take this off and you can probably notice a difference, and I'll pop it back on and you'll be able to tell a difference again. So let me not break this. And I'm not very delicate, so I apologize. So if you look at this light closely, it probably it just seems sharp. I don't really have another word to describe it. I'm not like a tech guru guy. And when I pop this on, you'll just see it kind of blur out a little bit, and it makes it look a little bit more cinematic, and it's what you're probably familiar with watching on TV and Netflix and things like that. So I'll try and put it on as fast as possible so you're not just seeing my fingers. And maybe just skip back 10 seconds if you want so you can see the difference. But that's what this is going to do on the Action 4. Now I have used ND filters in the past on my Sony cameras. Typically I used to have on those ones the variable ND filters, so you can essentially just have the one filter on and you can rotate it around to add different stops. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, just continue on. But they're always quite a bit of a pain, and unless you have really high production and you're really obsessive over it, it's kind of unnecessary a lot of the time. And if it's essentially, ND filters is like a pair of sunglasses for your camera. So you might see other videos that are outside and the sky is really like blown out. So the idea of an ND filter is to basically act like sunglasses and cut a lot of the light out so you see more of like the natural blues. You can use them on these cameras. I do have the ND filter, the variable one for the Pocket 3, but I'm not a big fan of it because it's so fiddly. It's the size of a thumbnail and it's just hard to get on and off, especially when you have stubby fingers and you bite your nails all the time. But with the Action 4, I will be outside vlogging and stuff in sunlight. So I may get some at some point. If I do, I'll show you and walk through what that looks like. But for now, I just enjoy having the mist filters on there just to give that bloom effect. But that's the premise of why I bought that particular additional thing. All right, before I go, I thought I'd give you a quick update. I've been kind of playing with things for about 30 minutes, getting all the settings and everything right. And I'll run through the settings that I have set up for the Action 4 now and give a quick update on some of the gear. So quickly, I should note that the suction cup that I bought is not really a suction cup. I purchased this on a whim on Amazon. I think this was about $45. And I seen that it was advertised as a 2-in-1 magnetic and suction cup, but I didn't read the finer print, so always do your research. The suction cup doesn't work on glass windshields or anything like that, so it kind of defeats the purpose. For having it in the car, unfortunately, I spent 20 minutes trying to just get it to suction onto the windshield or the dash. It didn't work as intended, so don't go out and rush into buying this. However, the magnet component of it is super, super strong. So it works really good on the fridge. I tested it up underneath the range hood, so I intend to film some videos of cooking meals and things, so that was really cool. I'll keep this with the adapter piece on top for anytime I need to use it on a magnetic surface. And I'll have to buy a specific suction one for the windshield and another little adapter as well. Quick interruption here. I'm actually editing the video right now, and Amazon has perfectly timed the delivery of the actual suction cup that will work by Small Rig. This is just a normal portable suction cup, not the 2-in-1 magnet one that I incorrectly purchased because I didn't read the fine print. The code for this one is 4193, and I'll leave a bunch of links in the description if you want to check out any of the gear. And yeah, just wanted to cover that before I get any further into the video. Thank you. Let's carry on. Moral of the story is read the fine print. I'll just get onto the settings that I've put on for the Action 4 at the moment. So the main settings I have are, I want it in 4K 16:9, RS, we're in rock steady. I'm in Australia, so we have 50 Hertz for our lights and things like that. So to avoid like anti-flickering, I'm gonna have it set to 25 frames per second, or if I'm doing like faster movement stuff in the car, when I actually have a suction cup that works, I'll be shooting at 50. For the settings, we've got auto white balance. For exposure, I'm gonna have -3 EV, and probably have an ISO range of about up to 6400. Obviously that's gonna handle a bit more low light situations, and it might introduce noise, but the whole idea is to be run and gun and have things simplified. I don't wanna be messing with perfect ISO and things. For the field of view, I want standard. Color, I'll keep on normal. And I'll do some custom settings here. So we'll take the sharpness down to -2 and also noise reduction down to -2. Turn off the auto enhanced low light thing. I don't think I need that. I could be wrong, but I'll leave it off for now. And then for the audio, we have standard noise reduction and stereo. I believe these are the most common settings. So let me know in the comments if I have that wrong, but we will find out in due course. And then probably have the brightness bumped down a bit just to save a bit of battery life. Other than that, I have this is the voice mode activated, so I can just say, start recording, stop recording. So my immediate thoughts about that is it's a lot better than the last GoPro I used. I think I used the GoPro, I think it was Hero 10, might have been the last one. I can't remember, it's been quite a while, but the voice command seems a little bit more responsive on the DJI Action 4 here. And then for the settings, the only really thing I have set up is the wireless mic, which I said was on the other mic mini. I have video compression on HEVC. I have quite a new Mac mini, so I shouldn't have an issue there. I'm not really sure what FOV boost lens is. I just did a firmware update on this and I haven't looked at it since it's done the update, so I'll leave that for now. For the sounds, I prefer to have it on mute. Don't really want to have sounds going off all the time. I prefer to have the grid on, so I can have a rule of thirds grid up, so I can center things and frame things up a little bit more conveniently. I have LED on just so I have a quick idea of whether this green light is on the front and the back. And I believe that is all I've really done to set it up. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the build of all the gear and the actual camera itself. The Small Rig case in particular, super sturdy, and I really like the ability to snap on both orientations. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry if it was a little bit clumsy here and there. If you have any suggestions for gear for either of the camera, the Pocket 3 or the Action 4, or setting changes that you think are better, then please let me know in the comments and I'll look into them more so than I did for the 2-in-1 suction cup. Thank you guys, appreciate you. Subscribe if you haven't been around on the channel before and you're a newbie, and drop a like and comment and let me know what you thought. Appreciate you. See you next time.